People are going to keep talking, then I'm going to keep talking. My grandfather could talk to me in French Canadian, and I can understand it, but I couldn't speak it. I think the important thing to remember about speaking French is that you must be able to say expensive brands properly. Yada, yada, unless I know what the hell I'm doing. So this RV gets towed in here. Well, there's this like a sewer pipe or something called a sewer pipe underneath of this thing that got sort of somehow disengaged from the, I guess what we would call the crapper. So it's all just a big mess right now. You know, thank God there's a 24-hour Shell station around the corner. If you guys are up there watching tonight, I love you guys. You know, sorry I overflowed the toffee cappuccino machine once again, but it says halfway or 3/4, but that's bullshit, and you guys know it. What the fuck you at? What the fuck you at, motherfucker? Where is it? What, it won't show up on the camera? Is that it? Shit, I need my glasses on. Oh yeah, we see you. We see you, motherfucking alien. That's a motherfucking alien right there. Told you this shit was real, man. Nobody fucking listens to me. Motherfucking alien. You know, it's been a few days, you guys, so shoot, I thought tonight, you know, we might just, you know, take a few minutes and catch up. How's everybody doing? Well, you know, it's been a few days, you guys, so shoot, I thought tonight, you know, we might just, you know, take a few minutes and catch up. There we go. Hey, son of a gun. And I was just going on about how much I loved everybody. Thank you, Sensi. I noticed that after about the first 5 minutes of talking, you know, and saw the little, you know, the little icon that said you're a moron. Yeah, hi Watha. Yeah. There I go. There I go. Good. Okay, yay. Oh, look, all my friends are here tonight. All my crazy friends are here tonight. Well, anyways, I was just I hope you guys like those intros. I've just been working on a few things. So, you know, I took the day off today. Back to work at it full-time plus, you know. It feels really good, to be honest with you. I'm not bitching about that. Takes a little bit to dig out, but it's nice to be able to afford firewood and, a few rounds for a little bit of fun and, a little bit of food for the grill later. Oh, nice, Hiawatha. You gonna make some? Are you making potato soup in particular, or are potatoes part of the mix of the soup, if you will, or is that the main? And I love potato soup. I mean, I like all varieties of potato soup. I like a good baked potato soup. I like a good cream of potato soup, where you put just a little bit of, like a half and half in, or maybe even cream, just a little bit, enough to lighten up the broth. I like potatoes and beans. I mean, potatoes are delicious. Put a little salt on there. Oh, that's funny, since the leak. I that's relevant, and that's a synchronicity, believe it or not. I'm gonna put that comment up. I was reading today about the history of where I live, called Calvin Township here in Michigan. It was well known on the Underground Railroad. Apparently, thousands of slaves came through here on their way to freedom in Canada. Some stuck to the area because this area apparently had a large Quaker population. Sensi, maybe we were talking about some of the origins of Calvinism and that kind of thing. I think what you said is right with the Quakers or the English or whatever. I really didn't know, but as I'm reading the history now of Cass County in this area in particular, it's quite interesting. In 1847, there was something called the Kentucky. Basically, the 13 slave owners from Kentucky banded together and came up here and kidnapped several of what they considered to be their property back, and they were living as free slaves up here. But there were different laws and stuff, and they decided to go about it. Anyways, they never got them. They went on to freedom, and they totally lost, and they lost both in court and banded together. Before. But the leaks. I never had a leak, I don't think, unless it was in some kind of soup I didn't know about. And I don't know if that is a more of a European or even English thing, but there was something in Calvin Township. Thank you. I have to get around to the history, called Ramp Town, and it was where a lot of black folks, I guess, just trying to get a start after leaving the South, could live cheap. There were some cabins. They had a real shot here in Cass County to own land for the first time, to own something. But anyways, Ramp Town stood for the kind of leek that they grew there, which was called the ramp leek. So there's a little bit of leek history. I'm not sure about leeks, other than things that don't relate to an oniony looking thing like a green onion. How's everybody doing? Hiawatha's here. Hiawatha just in time. Oh, Hiawatha. You're making the potato soup. Oh, okay, potato soup. Yep, here we go. Celery, onions, butter. That's it. That is the basic potato soup recipe. That's all you need. But it is so funny how important that celery and onions is. It's like when you make stuffing at Thanksgiving. Can you imagine making it without butter, celery, and onion? We could talk about some cranberry shit or whatever you want to put in there, some hippie twigs and shit. But quite frankly, when I'm having stuffing, I like gravy on my stuffing. I'm not a big mashed potato fan. In fact, I was convinced as a child they made me vomit. And I would only eat. What's up, Owl? Good to see you. We're just having a little fireside chat like President Franklin Roosevelt used to have. Probably he had wiser words than I have. Nonetheless, the sentiment is the same, I think. I'm not sure, really, but it sounded good. Leeks are kind of like ramps. Onions. See, I don't know what a ramp... See, so the ramp reference was really... Okay, you only get ramps for a few weeks here. So it's called Ramp Town. So that would make sense then, right, Hiawatha? And I guess probably if you Googled it, I mean, there's a whole thing. It was on the Bodine farm apparently, and the last person that kind of spoke of it was around the early 1900s, and it was like her grandmother was born there in the 1840s. Anyways, these Kentucky guys come up and try to strong arm. They get word of where some of these free slaves are at. Need to send you an outdoor pool table. I'm not much into pool, unless it's in my pocket. But that was stupid. But I do like the idea of an outdoor ping pong table, because I will whoop anyone's ass on the ping pong table. So if you want to put a piece of plywood on top of that pool table, you can do so, and then you can throw a bunch of stamps on there and mail me that to P.O. Box 190 in Edwardsburg, Michigan. That's zip code 49112. He's prowling tonight, double stuffed. So yeah, oh, that's what I was gonna tell you guys. Oh, for years. But you know what? See, I like them okay a little bit now. I get it now, because I like all kinds of potatoes, but I had a problem. They were just maybe what it was they tried to trick me when I was a kid and mix in all kind of shit into the mashed potatoes, as if I was having like a some kind of ice cream drink from Dairy Queen, like some kind of cement mixer. Only those are fun. It tastes like caramel, and salted peanuts and ice cream, not fucking mashed potatoes, green beans, and dog shit. So maybe that turned me off, and it made me hurl once or something. Like, here, you're eating these cooked carrots. It's like, why can't I just eat raw carrots? Like, why are you trying to force cooked carrots down? I like raw carrots. Can we count? That's why I like going to my grandparents every weekend, even though they were obviously older than my mom and stepdad. If there was something I didn't like, I didn't have to eat it. They made me something else, or I mean, I know that sounds spoiled, but my grandparents weren't about to be like, you're gonna eat this fucking liver in every bite, or you're going to bed early and all that shit. My grandpa hated that shit. My grandpa said, Derek, you don't either know antiques in this house, because I was raised with that shit. When I work for a living and I'm buying new stuff, I don't want that old. So your grandma likes to go to Goodwill and get those antiques. And I say, Julie, no, we're getting it new. We're going to Art Van. We're getting it new. Can't do liver. It's disgusting to even smell. Makes me want to hurl. Ugh. No rain in my area all weekend, thank goodness. Are we kind of in the same? Because it's been dry here too, and I consider that. And by the way, is a real windy sounding? I noticed the one show I did out here one night with the fire was whipping all around, and maybe I should take this off the screen. Hang on a second. Oh man. Oh, there we go. Oh no. I forgot how to do that. Anyways. Oh, hey, look. It's my buddy. Justin Ashiba's Beaks and Bass. Oh yeah, good old Justin and Ashiba's Beaks and Bass. If you guys like rock and roll, or mostly rock, maybe some heavy metal, some punk rock, but even classic rock, even some more obscure shit, even some kind of, no offense, Justin, I mean, some kind of wimpy songs sometimes, like you'll be doing like that Heart song, or like that Pat Benatar, song or whatever, and that's cool, because what he does on his liverwurst is great. Liver is putrid. There's a difference. I mean, I was driving by a place for a while somewhere out here in the sticks. It must have been where liverwurst was originally from, and it had all this old paint on the side of the building, and it said liverwurst on one half and liver best on the other half, as if it was two different stores competing for the same customers on opposite ends. It was really weird. So I think that's poor people food, Justin, which we are. So, which is why we probably yeah, no. Oh, is liverwurst isn't organs? Yeah, I don't. Oh no, that's Sensi saying that. Yeah, no, me either. I won't do it. I'm a flesh. Which still sounds terrible when you say it. I mean, I don't eat flesh of animals. I mean, I guess you have to kind of Liver cheese, dude? I mean, Justin. No, you didn't. Man, leave the word cheese today and LOL out there. That's a you what. I mean, I'm just saying, no way, no one buys liver cheese in our generation. That's some Hickory Farms bullshit. I'd rather be vegetarian too. I'd rather get on my hands and knees, quite frankly, Sensi, and just start ripping whatever greenery out of the ground. Maybe I'll get a cheap bottle of like oil vinaigrette, and dump it right on the grass and just go to town. But liver, I'm not doing it. I have my Justin saying, man, that wasn't a joke. Park Street Market, well, he's got the credentials to prove it, folks. I have been there. By the way, there's no 6-foot robot at the Park Street Market. A couple 6-foot employees. You definitely don't want to punch them, like I did the D&W robot. Well, good, man. That's awesome. Anybody ever heard of we're just having a random show, by the way, guys. I want to explain because I'm always like not always, but on this particular show I've been putting it off or changing it. And Justin, I'm glad you're here too. He's a moderator now, by the way. Sensi, obviously a moderator, new moderator. What I want to do with that, and I'm going to play a clip of it tonight because I do have a 3-minute separate clip. Just kind of like the very beginning, a teaser. We'll call it a teaser. And but what I think I'm going to do for the 6 Degrees of Kalamazoo show, which is what I think hopefully we could settle on as a name. I like that. If there's something better, let me know. If anybody, but if anybody gets the look, if we were to play a game right now on the internet, like a trivia game, and I said, complete this sentence, 6 degrees of, what would you guys put down? Well, I mean, I'll let you fill it in. We'll see who's paying attention. Maybe I'm on mute. I don't know. Go, find some Randy in a park to read your fucking horoscope and give you some head cheese. Oh, that sounds gross, Justin, man. Really? Head cheese, man. Now, I don't know, man. Yeah, that's a good store, though. You know what's good at that Park Street Market? Just about anything out of that deli that those ladies cook up. They know what they're doing over there. Thank you, Kevin Bacon. Let's see. I said 6 degrees. Anybody else? Justin's guess is Kevin Bacon, and that's the correct guess. 6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon was a ridiculous game people played in the 80s and 90s. You would take any actor that you could think of, Louis Gossett Jr. Now, look, I'm not good enough with movies to be able to do this, but within 6 degrees, in other words, Louis Gossett Jr. acted with so-and-so, who acted with so-and-so, who acted with so-and-so, who acted with Kevin Bacon. And that's what I'm calling the show about Kalamazoo, that my co-host is in the room with me. Justin and Sheba's Beaks and Bass, of course, will be the co-host for that show. Hopefully we're going to do a one-off. We're going to try it out. So we got that going on. So what I'm kind of rounding up to here about my big UFO show, and is probably what I'll do is cut it up a bit into segments, and then just use it as segments on the 6 Degrees of Kalamazoo show. I mean, again, with my own video also, those are all Kalamazoo stories. Not that I don't mind coming on here and talking, but I feel like this is like the really, wherever it goes. I mean, for this other thing, I want to have a bit of a format, and I'd like to welcome Sister X on board that show. Sister X, of course, my sister who lives in the Chicagoland area, who works for a large corporate entity, is on board in terms of research with the 6 Degrees of Kalamazoo show. She emailed me the other day. I mean, she's a Western Michigan University graduate, graduated in 4 years, instead of the 4-year plan now, which typically takes, I think, an average kid about 6.5 years. Anyway, she did it in 4, like worked full time and did. She's a hero to me, She was always very motivated, very organized. and still made time to have fun and do all that other stuff and socialize and do all that too. So I'm really thrilled. She graduated in with an English major and a minor in journalism at the time. Western doesn't do that program anymore. Excuse me. I'm going to grab something to drink. I can keep talking, though, if you can hear me. I don't know. So, yeah, I was pretty thrilled when, she messaged me and said, I'd like to help out. She doesn't like the idea of being on, camera, but she does like the idea of me doing this show about Kalamazoo, and she's from Kalamazoo, obviously, like I said, Western alma mater. Anyways, she did very well, and I'm thrilled to have Sister X on board, which is what I refer to her as. It's her code name, as she wants to remain, somewhat anonymous, and I respect that. So, with all that being said, oh yeah, Oberon. Well, we used to call it a soul sun. I had an old I just kind of started shit. I better finish one story before I start another one. Oberon used to be called Soul Sun. Solsun. Justin, of course, I know you know that. Justin, by the way, my buddy, is very well versed as well, probably better than I am, honestly, in the history of Kalamazoo. He rubs elbows with some of Kalamazoo's most notable historical fact checkers. He is a metal detecting guru who has found many, many, many local treasures over the long years of digging up, bottle caps and six six statue shit. Just now, I'll have you tell it, whatever that is. We were metal detecting one day on an old railroad track. All of a sudden, like some kind of weird trophy graveyard, or like just not the trophy part, just the kids swinging the baseball bat, and there's 6 of them laid out, like in a sacrificial, that was a weird find. You find weird stuff digging in the ground when you go metal detect. You find weird stuff digging in the ground without metal detecting. But you throw a good detector on it, and oh yeah, softball toppers. Yeah, we had a couple regalia shops or trophy shops that were pretty notable in Kalamazoo. I do know that at one time. Probably made them for more than just Kalamazoo. Probably shipped them around the country, honestly. I mean, obviously we made stoves. But anyways, so my sister right now is Sister X. Oh, I almost said her name. I don't have a what do you call that button? The oops, I messed up button. But I'm gonna have to add some wood to that fire in a second. It's starting to get a little chilly. Hiawatha though, sky watching. I was doing it a couple nights ago, and it was just unbelievable. In fact, only a few miles from me is something called Dr. Lawless State Park. Lawless, which I think that's a great name for a doctor. Dr. Lawless. Hey, motherfucker, I'm Dr. Lawless. Do what the fuck I want. I'm gonna fix you up. But it's one of these parks that and it must be a historical person around here. There are so many. It's a nighttime park. It's a star. It's a dark park. There's no lights. Damn it. So yeah, and so that's what I thought I'm going to do with this this interview is so long with my mom. It went on for an hour, recorded, and if I'm going to be stopping it, commenting on the little parts that she's talking about, because I know the characters involved, I know the story so well. Of course, I'm going to be doing that. Then I might as well chop it up into 4 or 5 parts and occasionally include it in a segment on local Kalamazoo history, as it was part of the I group it with the historical Michigan flap of 1966, late winter, early spring. Of course, it brought that was in Dexter, Michigan, and in Hillsdale, Michigan, at the girls' college, where I was the best man the only time at my friend's wedding. They're from Hillsdale, or she is, and they got married there. A beautiful campus. In fact, I didn't know the story then. I was probably right in, it was outdoors where we had it was probably right there where the friggin' UFO, landed. Here you got 20, 30, 50 girls to see something for like over an hour. I mean, it's ridiculous. Frank Manor, the guy that's from Dexter, Michigan, I mean, it's pretty harrowing interview stuff. I mean, he was so bitter at the end of it. Kids were coming and spray painting shit on his car. And this guy, you could tell, didn't mess around. He was going to whoop somebody's ass. He had like 8 kids, and he said, I just regret telling it. He goes, man, I just would never. He goes, they could come right down here and do, yada, yada, yada. He goes, I wouldn't tell anybody because he got such grief for it, and he had to end up moving. I mean, it ruined his whole life. But anyway, so this sighting of my mom's was, again, around that same time. It was the same, by description, almost about the same size from what I'm gathering. And once you hear my mom's description of it. So it's interesting. I don't know what that means. Blackie Lawless's cousin? So I don't know who Blackie Lawless is. It does sound like an old Wild West doctor. For all I know, it was, Italian grandmother. No idea. Okay. Oh, and you don't mean he means the band. Oh yeah, they did a cover of Can You See the Real Me, Doctor? Yeah, right. Dr. Lawless. Can you see the real me, Dr. Lawless? Not really, because your park is dark. So what do you guys? Oh yes, did I finish? Oh yeah, I see an Oberon. That's what that is. But it used to be called Soul Sun. In fact, when I was running my eBay site, I had Justin. I don't know if you know this. I'm kind of talking to Justin. You guys can listen too if you want. I had this old Oberon poster from my days of working at Bilbo's in the mid '90s, early '90s actually. Larry Bell himself had written on there $5 for a 22-ounce bomber bottle. It's back at a time before it was even filtered. You used to have that gunk on the bottom. You lay it on the side in your fridge, and it's like you take a few swigs. If you finish that thing, you would be shitting your pants before midnight. So it's always best to leave it sitting upright in the fridge and then to pour it off into a large glass. If you wanted to avoid the what looks like silt in a PCB infested river. Good on crackers. Anyways, I got new comments. Oh, Shay Watson's here. Welcome, Shay Watson. Shay, you know how it is with me. Maybe about 15, let's see, exactly 28 minutes, but to say you've missed anything is a bit of an overstatement. In fact, you may actually be smarter having missed that time. I fear that I'm dumbing down the populace as I go on here, but I'm glad that you guys stick with me. Yeah, whatever did happen to the 22-ounce bottles? They were thick. Back in, I know what happened to them in my house as older teenager and young 20-something. We would go up into the attic with all the bottles and load the BB guns up, and we would have shooting contests in the attic. And whoever got the last bottle, whoever shot the neck off, the last bottle got to go up and karate kick all the other bottles into the big pile of broken glass. After the bar, it got actually pretty big. We had to shut it down. I was getting quite a crowd in the attic. We had glass was flying everywhere. Not one time did anybody get cut, and we got hammered. We had an 8-track player and like Johnny Cash, Johnny Cash, Oh, Jesus, what's that song he sings about Sunday morning? Sunday morning on my mind, and the whole time and then a couple guys, they started bringing safety goggles, and they were out. You're not allowed to wear safety fucking goggles when you're shooting bottles. That's the whole point. It's rock and roll, folks. It's supposed to be offensive. It's supposed to be loud, and it's supposed to be dangerous. Double deuces. Yeah, that's right. 22s. Small rounds. For that matter, whatever happened to the good old-fashioned American court? Justin, you could talk about them double deuces. They came and went. But the court was a standard picture with the 40 ounce for a long time. Now, when's the last time you saw a fat boy court? And by the way, I knew a guy when I worked at one of these delivery joints, sent away to China to make 1,000 prototype copies of a 40 ounce can koozie zipped up on the side. And I'm not bullshitting you. Never did see one for sale in a liquor store, but I thought it was a great idea. This thing was huge, It's like he had a gross of them made, It's like, $3,000. And then you got to wait, because it gets on some shipping container. By the way, I got an idea for my RV. I'm not fond of the weakness of an RV, but there's a real good metal, like iron frame underneath. It's full size. It's like a full size. I got 4 wheels. 4 full wheels. And I'm thinking, there's some people around here I noticed are getting these shipping containers and putting them on their property. And they're kind of leveling them in, and I think they might rent them out as Airbnb or cabins at some point because they got like 3, they're like, landscaping all around them. It's really cool, man. I like that the idea of modern. The 64. Oh, shit, I forgot about it. Was there a 64 ouncer? Good golly. Hang on a second. There you go. Oh, yeah. Party ball. Well, you know how it is. I always feel like I probably have, maybe 12 people watching the show. I'm kind of glad it wasn't my big UFO show because I'd probably be a little sad, but I hope nobody else is Shay, which one are what are you laughing at? Yeah, so but people have ideas, and more power to them. More power to them. But anyways, about this RV thing. Now, I don't know if I can make it legal to like drive it around on the road. Not drive it, but pull it. Because, I do have a license for this thing. I had to go to the state of Michigan. Here, how about if I point the camera at this thing I keep referring to? Okay, all right, there's my unit. I mean, it's a mid-sized unit. It's not too big, not too small, But, it doesn't come out on the sides like some of them do. I'll be right back. Well, that's not what I thought it was, so okay. Anyway, so what do you think, You just take this whole thing and just get rid of it. And you just got the metal frame underneath, and then you, bam, bolt on a shipping container. I mean, here you're talking thick gauge metal. I'm not saying it's bulletproof, but I mean, this thing, doesn't hold the mice back, I don't feel like it's strong. Sorry. Oh, that's what I was doing. Holy shit. Hang on a second. Add wood to the fire. Yeah. Yeah, it gets a little lonely out here, being by yourself, but shit, on a day like today, I thought about going to work, but I already got so many hours scheduled this week that I just took today off. I had my own little idea, and I knew I wanted to broadcast. I knew I wanted to broadcast. I don't like putting things off. I don't like Here I am. I'm gonna put my little. Hang on, I'm gonna put my blouse on. Sorry, can't put on my blouse. Why can't guys have a blouse? Like guys don't have a blouse, and like chicks don't have like a like a wife beater. Well, if they do, that's fucking kind of hot, actually. There I am. I don't know where my glasses, but they're probably in my pocket. Woo! Yeah, it's starting to get chilly out here all of a sudden. But yeah, so I've been cleaning up this, cleaning up the yard and stuff, and oh, I'm just reading. Sorry, I'm doing what I'm reading the comments as if I'm not the host of the show. Oh, really? Doo. Oh God. Shay says hello to Hiawatha. And of course Hiawatha's like, hey lady, how you doing? Shay says I could live in that. I just don't know where the 3,200 square foot of my stuff would go. Wow, that's a lot of stuff. I know I was in the same place for 25 years, and it was only about, I think about 1,000, maybe just over 1,000 square feet of well, that doesn't count the basement. They don't count that as living space. I basically lived in the basement. I loved my basement. Of course, Justin kind of damn it, Justin. I thought I had a cool basement. To be honest with you, being up on a hill like I was, there's some funky places in town with some funky drinking tap water in Kalamazoo. Like it tastes like rotten egg smell. Kind of like, I don't know if anyone's ever smoked opium, it tastes like perfume smells in a good way. But when you're talking about tap water, unless it tastes like opium, it tastes like shit when it, tastes like a rotten egg. I haven't smoked opium in at least 17 years. You don't find it very often. Christ, it was 10 years before that since I smoked it. I mean, Jesus Christ. Where's the opium, All right, enough of that. But it's a rare one, and it's it's basically all natural. And as long as you don't end up in some kind of hop house, chilling with Asian folks, and nothing wrong with chilling with Asian folks. I mean, unless you're all on opium. What's that green drink? No, Justin, not the stuff that made Robin Quiver shit her pants. I mean the you would take another square 2,000. What is going on at your place, Shay? Don't you run like some kind of weird 85 room old hotel or something weird? God damn it, Shay, you're such a mystery to me. I mean, 2,000 square feet. I wouldn't know what to do with that. I wouldn't know what to do with it. I wouldn't know what to put in it. I'd have to tie a board to it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm just saying. All right. Well, maybe someday, though, huh? Maybe someday. That'd be great. Even if it is just one-on-one. Pew, can't drink tap water in my area either. Indianapolis water is good, but the little outlying city water sucks. I drink Ice Mountain. Yeah, Ice Mountain I like. And in Kalamazoo, typically I wouldn't drink the tap water. Now, Kalamazoo is one of the first communities, Justin, correct me, and I don't know if you've heard this, in the country that did put fluoride in the water. I have no front teeth, but that's because they were knocked out the old-fashioned way. Well, one was. And they're like dominoes after that when you have periodontal disease. Absinthe. Thanks, Hiawatha. Never had it. I mean, I've done just about everything that you can think of. Now, I mean, there's certain lines I haven't crossed. Drug-wise. And I've done your psychedelics, your mushrooms and your... But, like, I've never, not with the... and that's nothing against anybody that has done that kind of stuff. I've done some other outrageous shit. Oh, and you know what's ironic about that, Hiawatha? We don't have really, here in the Lower Peninsula, we don't have any mountains. So They should call it Ice Great Lakes, because it's that Great Lakes basin that brings us all that fresh tap water. And I would guess it's somewhere in the middle of the state if you want the freshest, cleanest. If you get too close to those lakes, that water can get a little skunky too, right out of the well. Let me tell you, make your dick grow pimples. All right, so yeah, absinthe though. Like I have no experience. I've seen movies, I've seen horror movies. Like I remember watching some kind of weird vampire movie once where, the vampire was drinking it. He was like, like having sex with everyone. Can I say that out loud? He was, he was the guys, the girls. He didn't care. He was on the absinthe, and yeah, and I don't think like I think the shit you see in a liquor store now, I don't think that's the real stuff. Like you guys remember when you were kids in the back of dirty magazines or High Times? Stay with me here. I hope this isn't too Christian of a crowd tonight. You could buy like speed pills. Speed. Mother's Little Helpers. It was real speed. Black Beauties. Something 2020s. I don't remember. It's been a long time. They used to go through the whole list of it. Damn you, Justin. This is why we're going to do such a great show, man. You put up one sentence and I'm gut laughing. I can't wait to be on fucking camera and actually come up with a concept for the show and work on it. Man. Yeah. Yeah, see, I can't do White Crosses. Whatever's in that shit, that what do they call the stuff, the chemical that's in there? It makes me sweat, shake, and get angry. I know if there's a fire to stop, drop, and roll, but I ain't going to the corkscrew fucking party center and grabbing those White Crosses anymore. They don't sell them. I think that's how they originally started making a lot of the biker speed out in California, I think, or something like that. Epidurin, yeah, that crap. Man, I'm looking for a downer, man, but not too down. I don't need a new drug, Huey Lewis. I don't need a new drug. I just need some good weed and a beer. And an occasional good cup of coffee. I like quality things. Whether it be friends or acquaintances or a beer or I settle sometimes. If I consider myself like a beginner at something, yeah, no, Hiawatha, we're too old. Mini thins, that crap, yeah. God, good God. I had a motto when I was a teenager. I don't want your fucking pills. Just give me some illegal drugs. Give me the really bad shit. Because that stuff makes me feel like shit without the buzz part of it, and you end up spending the money on it anyways. Now, in high school, I would buy no-dos. If anybody remembers those, but I'd always wait till the last minute to write research papers. And I would take a box of no-dos and drink a pot of coffee overnight. Now, I told my mom what I was doing. She knew. She bought me the no-dos. But she knew that she, as a mother, would feel prouder having her son write the research paper than become a future drug addict. I love you, Mom. Quality over quantity. Unless you're talking about jelly beans, then I agree. No, there's no situation where quantity over quality is better. I agree, Hiawatha. At least at this point in my life. I mean, yeah, when I was, 18, I drink 12, or I was never when I say big drinker, I knew people that would drink like 37 beers and shots and just like vomit blood for it. I knew crazy fucking people. Okay? Without naming names. And Justin, You knew them too. I never knew you that, except for in school, but we were in the same, neighborhood, almost kind of knowing the same people at half the time. And I just wish I would have ran into you because these people were trouble, man. Woo! Punch you right in the face, they would. Oh yeah. So it's gonna be fun, I think it'll be fun in terms of when we're talking about this 6 Degrees of Kalamazoo show. One, I don't want to hold a semi-regular show to one subject like Kalamazoo. So I feel like being able to step out a couple degrees. Like, for example, I've been putting up on my community post page, which, by the way, everyone, I do most of my communication on this channel from my community post page. It is nonstop paragraphs of nothing but pure genius content on my part, if you don't mind me saying so. You know what I haven't done in a long time? Would I go for a big what was that burrito joint up by Bilbo's on campus? Damn it. It was back in the when did I turn 21? 82, 92, 93. Okay, so 94 to like 2000, there was a not taco, but a burrito place right next to the campus Bilbo's. Of course, now we know campus Bilbo's is on Stadium Drive, sacrilegious. There's no underground. You could have built a new place with a basement, you pricks, for, the old timers. Because I spent almost every night of the week there for many years. My car knew its own way home. And I like your shorts too high. Oh, the video, yeah. I knew what you meant. Yeah. I've been on, working into the foray a little bit. Filled with the spirit, that. But I've been waiting for an experience out here. I haven't had any. Honestly, Hiawatha, to be honest with you. Yeah, a couple nights I watched the skies. The rest of the 2.5 months I've been here has been either cold and raining, or raining and windy, or cold, rainy, and windingo. So it's just not been fun. I mean, especially with this weather. I mean, look at this. Look, it's getting friggin' gorgeous out here right now. I mean, knowing this was coming, yeah. But there's some sky watching definitely coming. Now, the landowner asked, did I want to they got a big kind of spotlight, Everybody out in the country here, they don't have like little motion detecting lights. They got like an actual like a telephone pole with a big ass, like what you would see in the city, like one of them big, like, like like the light is like, okay, like, wait, okay, if the sun was the light, it's like around, so she's like, do you want that off at night? And quite frankly, no, I don't. I like light. So I think it kills some of the sky watching, but nonetheless, even with that, I can look backwards here, back in this direction at the cameras, kind of facing now. And that's a little bright for you guys. I don't want to blind, like, I'm not trying to annoy you guys. Jesus, that is bright. There we go. Hey. Hello, love. I know right now that I just have a feeling my buddy Justin wants a cigarette. Here, man. That's the kind of shit you're missing right now. That's the kind of stuff we're not doing. This is gonna be a good show. Spam, bacon, and spam. I do not like spam, and I don't like the green eggs and ham, and I don't like potted meat. Potted meat makes farts smell like like a whole New York City garbage dump that was vomited up on a 180-degree day in the back of a 68 Buick in the parking lot of an airport in the middle of Nevada for 3 months. It's disgusting. Right. No, but Hiawatha around here, you don't have to worry about that. For real? Never, ever. But you know that already. Well, in fact, we don't want it to sound right. We never want it to sound right because that's not fun. That's not where the fun is at. Make everything proper all the time. The fun is at where it's in the margins, you know? That's where the good stuff is at. It's like metal detecting in the city woods. You got to go to the margins. You got to go to the edges where the trees have lined the property for the entire time without the earth being turned over. Because what's in the middle oftentimes has been removed and put back and removed and put back, you know. And, you know, it's going to happen. You know, I'm not going to feel like I'm ripping off Howard Stern by being a super fan and speaking the language. So it's going to happen. You know, it's going to happen. It's going to happen a lot. And I'm sorry that you guys don't know that language. It is a certain language, and you know, it's a certain language, and Howard Stern, that is, superfan talk. I know 4 people, which is weird. That's a lot of different people, and they don't know each other. So I got Justin. I got my friend Stephanie, who's best man at their wedding, by the way, in Hillsdale. She's a Stern superfan. And my friend Tara. But I also work at Papa John's. But I mean, that's me, and that's 4 people. And none of these people know each other in this soup, but all get every single Stern reference that I've ever made. Almost all. With the exception, Justin, no offense, of Lavender Neglish, which was the cleaning lady in the old WNBC studios. And you had that weird old, you know, Fred the you know, or whatever, the janitor guy. Well, we don't want to set anybody. I don't want to set anybody to Hearst. And let's talk about a Patty Hearst. Oh, so Kalamazoo stories, right? Sister X is researching 2 right now. One is the fact, and I'm going to prove it's a fact, that Elvis Presley was alive in 1989, living in Kalamazoo, Michigan. 2, the Webster Institute is a weird fucking place that does weird fucking shit with people like Dr.J Sarfati. And they have a 40-foot pebble pyramid on the property. I've shown the pictures on the community post page. Good. Got any of them fried taters? Not yet. I'm going to have some fried taters, biscuits, and mustard. Ted the janitor. Thanks. This is what I'm talking about. So, okay, you guys, to remember the janitor on the Howard Stern show in 1984 is to know someone else who also loves metal detecting, who have then gone to high school with and known for 30 years, who you haven't talked to in 27 years, whatever the math is, whatever, 37, whatever the math is, long fucking time. And then boom, Justin is the only person. Justin, and this isn't I'm not trying to kiss you, know, it's not an ass kissing contest, but I don't friend well. I don't. Befriend always sounded like you're like breaking up your friendship with someone. Like, I've befriended you, but apparently it means you're becoming friends with someone. But I'm saying, like, Justin is the only person, because I'm an asshole like that. I don't want to feel as if I'm begging for attention from people I've known my whole life. He's the only person that I have ever friended out of high school age. And that's a fact. And the fact that all these things line up only means that our show, 6 Degrees of Kalamazoo, is going to be brilliant. It's just going to be brilliant. Eventually. Or it's going to be a one-off. It's going to be terrible, and we won't do it again. But we're still going to go metal detecting and have a beer occasionally, smoke a joint or whatever, and have fun, you know. So that's what I got going on. Oh, and I've been working a lot, you guys. I don't even think I'm just sitting around here, you guys, waiting to hit 1,000 members, 1,000 subs so I can start charging membership, because we have a 215 member limit that I put on the show. Anybody over that, I'm throwing out anyways. I refuse to make money on this show. Now, that doesn't apply to the new show going forward. I'm just going to be honest about that. You never know when gold is going to, who are those old, like wizard types, alchemy, I'm turning dog shit into gold, whatever, dog turds into gold. You never know when that recipe works out. One day you're eating dog shit. The next day, you're eating gold. My shorts are working. Well, that's true, because I'm always recording them going back and forth. Yeah, no, you're right. You're right, Hiawatha. I just don't. I do a lot of bloviating. But and the funny thing is, Hiawatha, it seems like the more I work, the more I broadcast. It would almost seem like it would be opposite of that. Like you have more personal time, so you'd be on the air all the time. But I don't feel good about myself in a way that I do now. As I'm starting to slowly pull myself out of the mud, the muck. And you guys know what accompanies muck always, every time, is mire, whatever that is. And I pull myself out of that. And I work those shorts, girl. And I'm not afraid to work. I like it. I'll work a massive amount of hours. If I can. At least, I regained my platinum status with DoorDash. No big fucking yank. But it is a big yank, because now I get to schedule myself for long ass shifts, and I get all the highest tips with the biggest orders. So I've regained my platinum status. It's the highest status you can have as a delivery person with DoorDash. It's not the perfect model. I miss having a structure, at a real place where I work with people over and over and over again. I really miss that relationship setting, instead of just being independent on my own with an unfriendly, uncaring app. But at the same time, the bills got to get paid. So until I can get I'm not saying my goal is to be a Pizza Hut driver or some shit. What I'm saying, until I get the job I want, I can just keep busting this out. I got a good car, and if I'm gonna bust this out, my resume is updated. Keeping an eye on that whole situation, but at the same time, I'm not gonna hold myself back. I'm gonna really bust ass on it and try to get ahead a little bit, because so I have more nights like this. I'm not getting any younger, so to have to live, hand to mouth, or even ass to mouth, is not a good way to go. It's not good, because it's just best to have a little bit in backup. Guys, if I had one bit of advice for myself that I wish I would have listened to more and taken more seriously, was besides flossing daily, I've always brushed my teeth, but I didn't floss, and it gave me periodontal disease, would be to save more money. Yeah, I know the aliens could come, the meteor could hit the earth, the Russians could invade. They haven't, those haven't, and it hasn't. And if I had to save more money, I could have more nights like this. But instead, I got to limit myself, because I got to bust ass and jockey around some town filled with liberals and road construction all day. Yeah. Well, That's right. They call me the gun-owning queer. La Bambas, you son of a gun. This is why. And they have the best fucking hot sauce. This is why we're going to have the best show. Find me a La Bambas in this country. It was a chain. I need La Bambas. I would get so incredibly hammered at Bilbo's to levels, and then, I'm in dry storage also, getting high, doing a couple lines. This is 20 years ago, guys. I can say that. I paid out of pocket for my own therapy to get off that shit. I've told that story until the therapy started costing more than the cocaine. And I quit them both cold turkey. Hiawatha, no girl does DoorDash, Uber Eats, and Lyft. She makes big money. It's still, though, I'm not letting anybody ride in my my classic Camry. They're not good enough for that. And I don't need vomiting, college kids. I'm good at delivering, like, food and, like, shit like that. I don't shop. I tried that, shopping for people. It was so frustrating. I didn't know where anything was at in half the stores I had to go to. I started just getting shit. Like, they wanted, like, for example, they're like, I want Kraft macaroni and cheese. And I'm like, oh, can't find that. Here is a pack of strawberries. Fuck you. It just didn't work out well. I'm not a shopper for others. You get bitter when you can't afford the same items and you're, like, getting frustrated trying to buy other people's shit that you can't afford yourself. Maybe not. Maybe you don't, but when you're hungry, like I was for 2 years, it's annoying. And I won't do it. I won't fucking do it. And quite frankly, I do like people, but I don't want them in my back seat under those circumstances. So, and the camera's not big enough for any other circumstances. So. You're gonna be good though. Let's see what we got here. Crime and Shame's coming on. That just came up. Sonny, how you doing? Sonny was the first show I ever went on. If anybody reads the community post page, they would know that it's a crime and shame. There's been a trial going on right now. In fact, he was just found innocent on all charges. One Flint farmer from the Delphi area. I can't remember which town it was exactly. Burritos as big as your head. Yeah, they were big. And that hot sauce was excellent. And it came in like a little thimble. It was like a little thimble. And what was that place when we were kids you could order delivery from? Besides Sergeant Pepperoni's. It was a taco joint. Taco Grande. Don't tell me, Justin, you didn't have some Taco Grande in your life. Over many kegs of beer. Come on. We're from the same town, bro. This can be a great show. Of course, Sergeant Pepperoni. They delivered till 4 a.m. 5. It was amazing back then, in the early 90s in Kalamazoo, Until they found like leftover dogs in the freezer. Was that Jax? It was somebody. I don't think it was Sergeant Pepperoni actually. It just was a funny name, Sergeant Pepperoni, but nothing ever showed up right. Like you'd order something from Sergeant Pepperoni, and if it showed up, because it was just cash or a check back then, we didn't have credit cards. We were, 18 years old and drunk and wasted, and ridiculously wasted. But if they showed up, it was rarely what you ordered. It was not even usually in the same. Like I ordered a large pepperoni. This is like a, like a large, like who knows what. You didn't care. You took it. Whatever it was, and you ate it anyways. Yeah, I know a lot of people Hiawatha. That's how they kind of do that whole game. This whole independent thing is to sort of mix Grubhub and yada yada. I find with DoorDash, oh yeah, Odie's, yeah, but they didn't have puppies in their freezer. Remember when the Taco Bell, I don't know if it was a rumor, allegedly had Ajax, and they had just come out with those cinnamon twist things, but instead of cinnamon in the shaker thing, it's fucking Ajax. Real jokers over there at Taco Bell. Oh wow. Oh yeah, Taco Grande. They had like 10 tacos delivered for like $5, you know. But they had these little thimble sized sauces, you know. And they had little caps on them. You could it's like a little solo cup, like a tenth of an ounce solo cup, you know. Of course, we know the best solo cup in town for dressing is Jet's Pizza. When you get a ranch dressing at Jet's Pizza, it's like a 2-ounce souffle cup of ranch. Homemade ranch with buttermilk, by the way. I worked at Jet's for 16 years. I'm gonna put more wood on this situation because I'm getting chilly, and then I'm gonna cook some cheese dogs, and I'm probably eat and pass out soon. I hope you guys aren't disappointed. I'm sure no one is watching anyway, so seriously, like you know, there's probably like 12 of you guys, but I'll do. You know, at this point, I don't feel like I'm doing a show for anybody. I mean, I just wish you guys were on the screen with me and we could just be together, you know. Yeah, like that scene from Up in Smoke, you know, when that chick at the house party, she like snorts a big line of you know, the Comet Cleanser, and she goes, I love that movie. I love Cheech and Chong. That's my classic rock. We Are Somebody. Odie's was good, by the way, dude. I fucking liked Odie's, man. That whole building burned down not that long ago, a couple years ago. House or whatever that was. There's a lot of weird shit in the old days, you know, like people running pizza places out of the back ass of their house, you know. That's a weird neighborhood too, Justin, where we grew up. Very much more industrial. In my neighborhood on Elcott, you were either a alley kid or a tracks kid. And, you know, that meant that you know, take it in the back or give it in the front. But, I mean, more than that, there was some defunct railroad tracks. Not much like Delphi, because these weren't, like, out in the middle of, like, nowhere. These were right in the city. Off the factories that had closed up years before. Miller Lumber Company. Justin probably remembers the every spring after the winter thaw and the spring rains, there would be a big mud puddle at the Miller Lumber Company where we'd ride our bikes around, and there would oftentimes be tadpoles. And as a 9-year-old boy riding your bike around a big mud puddle, there's nothing more fun than finding a pond full of a temporary pond full of tadpoles. It's endless entertainment. They turn into little frogs and they start jumping, and there's like a million little going everywhere. I haven't seen it. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Well, you know, I mean, over there was a guy that lived on Palmer Street. You know, the kids would be driving around on new mopeds back when those first became, you know, sprees. Remember sprees? Every white trash kid in that neighborhood had a fucking spree, a red spree. They got it from the guy's house. You know what I'm saying? Right on Palmer there, right by that park, Peter Pan Park. Yeah. I never went over there. I never had a spree. My stepdad, I didn't have to do anything like that. I just had like I did have a lawn tractor, but I didn't have to blow anybody for it, you know. Hey, Jari. You know, just saying, you know. It did make the lawn mowing a lot easier. Because I had lawnmower man jobs ever since 5th grade, you know. I remember in 5th grade, which would have been 1983, that I was making $40 a week mowing lawns in 5th grade in 1983. And that was good money. I don't give a shit what you guys say. You can laugh at $40 a week in 1983, but when you want to go see a movie or go out to breakfast or buy somebody something or impress them, you got that cash at $40 a week. And it was hard work, but I did it. I wrote it down. I had my schedule. I did it all. I wrote President Reagan and told him what I was doing. I sent my tax money into him. He was a great president. Ronnie. That was good money, yeah, right. And I only charged $5 a lawn, I mean, $5 a lawn in 1983. These are pretty big lawns, not huge. Over here, mostly on East Elcott Street, But again, it backed up to those railroad tracks. It was like extra fucking property. That railroad property got taken over by like me and the people that lived on our side. I was a tracks kid, not a alley kid. Oh, because every other street for several blocks had an alley. I mean, only one had the railroad tracks. That was Elcott. But every other block had an alley that ran blocks and blocks and blocks all the way for the garages, like Chicago, all the way down. And for years when I was a kid, and Justin will remember this, they were dirt. They were dirt alleys, but they're paved now because they're more sophisticated. One of the shorts I just put up, I showed where the tracks were at. In fact, I drove by the house that I used to live on Elcott Street and showed where the murderers that lived on my same block lived around me. Yeah, I mean, and then the great thing about it was after my mom and stepdad took their 75%, they said, do that or I had to, get whooped more. But I still have money left over for like candy and stuff. So no, I'm just kidding. The great part about that is I had my own money. So I'd be like, Ma, I'm in 5th grade. Can I go see a movie? Take me to the movies. I don't feel like doing that. Rotary phone. Oh, taxi? Yeah, come pick me up. My mom's like, you called a taxi? You sophisticated shit. You're in 5th grade. I said, Mom, the new Fletch is out. The movie. I got to go see Fletch. Oh, bums. I don't have a power cord out here that's long enough yet. Damn it. I'm gonna run out of juice any second. I was at 100%. Oh, you were an alley kid. Yeah, but you get the exact thing that on Elcott specifically, you had those tracks that ran between Bryant and Elcott, and then Palmer and Elcott had the alley. So just on that street was either alley or but Cameron, oh man, that's a real that's a crazy road. Even and now it's like everyone gets shot over there. It's like really crazy. Well, you guys, I'm going to wrap it up tonight. I do apologize for not having this mom UFO story down, but I feel like the whole reason I didn't even change nothing was like Jimmy Church says. Hey, look, if your broadcast doesn't work out to what you thought it was going to, doesn't mean don't broadcast. You go on and you say it didn't work out and you still broadcast. Well, that's what I'm doing here tonight. I knew it wasn't going to work out because it's just not the way I want to do it. And I can't still figure out how to get it from my phone. And I know I'm old. I'll figure it out. But I think it works better as a segment fill for my new show, our new show, Justin and I's new show. And in fact, we could even do a drive around video or places we used to live and shit. I mean, this is the great thing. Hell, occasionally, even though I live out here and Justin lives, somewhere around there, we could maybe do a show from the same location sometime and have like a beer or something. Yeah, that's cool to me. So I look forward to it. Jari, thanks for stopping in, Jari, by the way. Really good to see you. Shay, you're not carbon dated. You were so not carbon dated. If so, that, I do remember, you remember carbon paper? You go in there, you run that credit card like kung kung. When I've been delivering pizza so long that before there was online and credit card delivery like that, I'd bring one of those machines with me on a delivery. That's no shit. And then Ronald Reagan would come on the radio. So we had Shay here tonight talking. Now, I don't know. I'm sure there are other people watching or will watch. Guys, I know it wasn't the most exciting show, but I have a ton of fun doing these segments. And, you know, I mean, doing this shit, Shay, exactly, is like taking a couple ephedrine. I feel fucking just, bam, gas station boner pills. And you know, I'm chugging them down with fucking Ice Mountain. And I'm gonna go do a couple shots of absinthe. We're gonna call it a night. And thanks for being here. Thanks for just even showing up. Thanks for even spending 1 minute with me. It's much appreciated. And we will see you soon with more bullshit. Have a great night, everybody.